Hi everyone, Monisha here. Spare a little time to see this beautiful bird fluttering its wings, okay? I just got hooked up by just seeing this, okay? In this video of light reflection refraction, I will be covering image formation of spherical mirror by ray diagram, that is image formation by convex mirror and image formation by concave mirror by using ray diagrams, okay? I just love seeing this video again and again. I just love seeing the bird fluttering its wings like this. Okay, let us start the session. So these are the topics which I am going to cover here in light reflection refraction. Image formation by spherical mirrors, that is the ray diagrams using both concave and convex mirror. Next, uses of concave and convex mirror. Next, last, sign convention for reflection of spherical mirrors. Okay, these are the topics which I am going to cover today. Let us study about umbra and penumbra. A point source produces a single well-defined shadow, while a bigger source of light produces shadows like umbra and penumbra. Let us carry out an activity to understand umbra and penumbra. Place a ball fixed on a stand and a screen in front of it, such that the screen is bigger than the height of the ball. Now, light a torch from the other side of the ball and see the shadow formed on the screen. Umbra is the part which is in complete darkness and receives no light from the torch, while penumbra is the part which is in partial darkness and receives some light from the torch. Bring the ball closer to the screen. What do you observe? While we move the ball nearer to the screen, the umbra reduces and the penumbra which increases. So this is the activity. Consider an extended object as in figure 1 or figure 2. The extended object of finite size placed in front of a spherical mirror. Each small portion of the extended object acts like a point source. You can see a number of rays coming out of the object. An infinite number of rays originate from each of these points. To construct the ray diagrams, in order to locate the image of an object, a large number of rays emanating from a point could be considered. However, it is more convenient to consider only 2 rays for the sake of clarity of the ray diagrams. In the figure 3, you can observe that the intersection of at least 2 reflected rays give the position of image of a point object. Even though from an extended object, a countless number of rays emits, in order to write the ray diagram, we use only 2 rays, so that in a clarity, we can note down the image formation of the object. Now we are going to learn about rules of reflection in both convex and concave mirrors. Rule 1. Rays parallel to principal axis. A ray that is an incident ray parallel to the principal axis after reflection will pass through the principal focus in the case of concave mirror or appear to diverge from the focus in the case of convex mirror. In the first diagram you can see here, so this AB is the incident ray. So when this AB ray incident on this concave mirror, so after this is the reflected ray, okay? So this reflected ray passes through the principal focus. So this is in the case of concave mirror. Next, in the case of convex mirror. So this AB is the incident ray. So after reflection, you can see here, this is the reflected ray. After reflection, this reflected ray appears to diverge, appears to move from this point of principal focus. This is in the case of convex mirror. So in the concave mirror, after reflection, the reflected ray passes through the or move through the principal focus. In the case of convex mirror, the reflected ray appears to diverge or appears to move from that principal focus. So by knowing the information of this, we are going to write the ray diagram. Moving to the second rule. The second rule says that rays passing through the principal focus. So it is exactly opposite or the reverse form of the first rule. In the first rule, what they said? When a ray is parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, the reflected ray moves through the or passes on to the principal focus, where it is exact the reverse form. A ray passing through the principal focus of a concave mirror or a ray which is directed towards the principal focus of a convex mirror after reflection will emerge parallel to the principal axis. So after reflection, the reflected ray moves parallel to the principal axis. So this is the second rule. Here the incident ray is this one. The incident ray is moving through the principal focus, whereas after reflection it is moving parallel to the principal axis. So this center line is the principal axis. So the reflected ray is parallel to the principal axis in the case of concave mirror, whereas in the convex mirror, so this is the incident ray. So this incident ray is just directed towards the principal focus, this imaginary line. So after reflection, what happens? This is the reflected ray. So this reflected ray is parallel to this principal axis. So this is the reverse form of the first rule. Moving on to the third rule. Third rule states that rays passing through the center of curvature. When a ray passing through the center of curvature of a concave mirror or directed in the direction of a center of curvature of a convex mirror after reflection is reflected back along the same path. So you can just notice the diagram here. So this is the incident ray. So this incident ray is moving through the center of curvature. But what happens after reflection? The reflected ray is again tracing back to the center of curvature itself. It is not reflecting here and there. Okay, in the case of concave mirror. In the convex mirror, the incident ray is moving to the path which is directed towards the center of curvature, this imaginary line. This shows that this incident ray is directed towards the center of curvature, whereas after reflection, this is the convex mirror. Okay, this is the convex mirror. So when it reflects on that, the reflected ray also traces along the same path. It is not reflected here and there. It traces the same path itself. This is the third rule. Moving on to the fourth and the final rule, that is rays passing through the pole. A ray incident obliquely to the principal axis towards a point P is pole of the mirror, on the concave mirror or a convex mirror is reflected obliquely. The incident and reflected rays follow the laws of reflection at the point of incidence, making equal angles with the principal axis. So what is laws of reflection? That is, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Now just watch the diagram here. This is the incident ray. So when this incident on the pole P, so the reflected ray also moves obliquely from the pole P such that making equal angles at the center. Here the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Okay, so this is in the case of concave mirror. So the same happens in the case of convex mirror also. So when the incident ray incidents on the pole of the principal axis, then the reflected ray also make equal angles at the center, so that the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. In this case, that is when the rays passing through the pole on the principal axis. So these four rules we have to use for drawing the ray diagrams whenever they ask the objects are at infinity, center of curvature, or beyond center of curvature, or at principal axis. There are many rules for the object, so that we have to find out where the image will form by taking care of these four rules. So this is the table which helps us to draw the ray diagram. So when we memorize this table carefully, then we can write the ray diagrams even more easily. Else it will become a tedious task for us. Okay, so here case 1 is when the object is at infinity. So when the object is placed at far away position, that is at infinity, then the image will always be on the principal focus itself, where the size of the image is highly diminished. Diminished means very small size. Okay, highly diminished point size, where it will be real and inverted. The image will be inverted. If we know this information, we can write the ray diagram of it. Whereas in case 2, the object is beyond C. So when the object is beyond C, the image will always fall between F and C, between principal focus and the center of curvature, and the size of the image is diminished. Again, very small and real and inverted. Next, third case is at C, at center of curvature. So when the object is at center of curvature, the image will also form at center of curvature itself, same size as the object. The image will be having the same size as the object, real and inverted. Next is between center of curvature and principal focus. If object is placed between center of curvature and principal focus, then the image will be forming beyond C. So after the center of curvature. but here the image will be enlarged, bigger than the object, real and inverted. Next, when the object is at F, that is principal focus, then the image will form at infinite position, very farther position, okay, and the size of the image is highly enlarged, but it is real and inverted. The last case, the sixth case, is between P, that is pole, and the F, principal focus. Between pole and principal focus, if we place an object, then the image will form behind the mirror. This is one different case. Okay, when the object is placed between P and F, pole and the principal focus, then the image will be behind the mirror, which is enlarged, virtual and erect. This is a straight image. All of the other images are inverted, whereas this last image is virtual and erect. Okay, let us move towards the case 1. This is case 1, that is when the object is placed at infinity. So this is the way we have to write the ray diagram. Object is at infinity means, so here the object is at very far place. So we need to show that the ray is coming from very farther place. Okay, these are the two incident ray. So the question is, when the object is placed at infinity, the ray coming from the farther object reflects on the, or the light falls on the concave mirror, and after reflection it coincides on the principal focus, that is the image forms on the principal focus. Here in the second diagram we can see that clearly the object is placed at the far away position, that is at infinity. So the ray or the light coming from that far away position object is hitting on the concave mirror. So after reflection, so both the reflected rays are coinciding at one single point, that is at a principal focus. So this proves that when the object is at infinity, the image will form at the principal focus where it is real and inverted. Inverted means, so this is the inverted form. Okay, so inverted, and in this case we have to write the ray diagram as shown in the figure. Okay, when the object is placed at infinity, the image always falls on the principal axis, on the principal focus, real and inverted, and diminished. Diminished means smaller point size. Moving on to the second case. The second case is when object is placed beyond C. So what happens when object is placed beyond C? So when an object is placed beyond C, the light rays coming from that object falls on the concave mirror, and after falling on that, it reflects. And when the two rays reflects, it will coincide at a certain point. Here in this case, the two rays coincide at a point between C and F. Okay, so this is an object which is placed beyond C. So when the two rays, so one is parallel to the principal axis and the one is moving on to the principal focus. When these two rays hit to the surface of the concave mirror, it reflects, and both the reflected rays coincide at a certain point which is between C and F. This shows that when the object is placed beyond C, the image will always form between center of curvature and between the principal focus, that is between C and F. Moving on to the third case, that is when the object is placed at C. Here in the diagram you can see a red shaded object. This is the object which is placed at the center of curvature. So from this object, two light rays are passing. One is parallel to the principal axis and the one is moving on to the principal focus. So when these two rays hit the concave mirror, it reflects. So after reflection, so both the rays coincide at a point. So here both the rays are coincide at a point at center of curvature itself. So this shows that when the object is at center of curvature, so after reflection from the light rays, the image also formed at the center of curvature itself, which is real and inverted. Inverted means the reverse form, inverted form. So this is the third case. So moving to the case 4 section. In case 4, when the object is placed between C and F, the image forms beyond C. Here we can see that, so this red color is the object, that is AB is the object. Here two light rays are coming from the object. So one is parallel to the principal axis and the one is moving on to the principal focus. So when these two rays hit the concave mirror, it reflects. So after reflection, these two reflected rays coincide at a point which is beyond C. Okay, here what we get is an enlarged virtual image of an object. Enlarged virtual image, that is inverted image of an object. Moving on to case 5. Case 5 states that when the object is placed at F, that is at principal focus, the image will form at infinite region, that is at infinity. Here you can see that A is an object which is placed at principal focus. So there are two light rays falling onto the concave mirror from this object which is placed at principal focus. So when it falls on the concave mirror, it reflects. So the reflection and the reflected rays will move on to an infinite region. So we can conclude here that at an infinite position, the image will be formed, which is a real and inverted image. Moving on to case 6, that is the last case of this ray diagram. Case 6 states that when object is placed between P and F, when the object is placed between pole and principal focus on the principal axis. So this is the A is the object, so which emanates two light rays. So one is directed towards the center of curvature, and another one is directed towards after hitting the surface of the pole. So what happens? It satisfies the laws of reflection, that is the incident ray and the reflected ray makes equal angles. So when this is the case, the light rays will coincide at a point behind the mirror where the image will be enlarged, virtual and erect image. So this confirms that when object is placed between P and F, then the image will form behind the mirror, which is virtual, erect and enlarged. Coming to the last session, that is sign convention for reflection by spherical mirrors. So while dealing with the reflection of light by spherical mirrors, we shall follow a set of sign conventions called New Cartesian sign convention. So in this convention, the pole of the mirror is taken as the origin. Here P, this pole of the mirror is taken as the origin. The principal axis of the mirror is taken as x-axis. As we write ray diagrams, as we write the graphs in mathematics, just like that, this principal axis is taken as x-axis, whereas this side is positive x-axis and this side is negative x-axis, where this P is taken as origin O. Okay. The following convention, that is, the object is always placed to the left of the mirror. This implies that light from the object falls on the mirror from left hand side. Okay, so object is always placed in the left hand side. The left hand side is always considered as negative part, right? So whenever in any problem they have given the object distance, then the object distance is taken as negative. For example, if the object is considered as a bus, okay, so then if the distance is given as 50 meter, then the object distance is given by minus 50, because the object is placing at the left hand side, whereas whatever is there in the left hand side is considered as negative. Okay, so next, all distances parallel to the principal axis are measured from pole of the mirror. So all the distances, whether it is object distance and image distance, so all distances are taken from this reference point P. So from P, the distance of the image, the distance of the object is taken as U, object distance. From P, the distance of the image is taken as image distance. Third point is, all the distances measured to the right of the origin along plus x-axis, that is positive x-axis, as taken as positive, while those measured to the left of the origin, that is along the negative x-axis, is taken as negative. So third point states that, so all the distances which is left of the pole is taken as negative, and all the distances which are to the right of the pole is taken as positive. Next, the fourth point is, distance is measured perpendicular to and above the principal axis along positive y-axis as taken as positive. So this is positive y-axis and the down form is negative y-axis. So the positive y-axis is always taken as positive and the negative y-axis is taken as negative. And the last point states that distance is measured perpendicular to and below the principal axis along y-axis is taken as negative. The distances which are measured perpendicular to and below the principal axis, that is, this is the principal axis, and whatever distance is taken below the principal axis is taken as negative and above the principal axis is taken as positive. So these are the sign conventions. So by these sign conventions, we can understand how to do the problem of convex lens and concave mirrors, spherical mirrors, easily by using the mirror formula. This is the quick glance of sign convention of mirror. So if this is the convex or concave mirror, so whatever is there above the principal axis and right hand side of the principal axis is taken as positive. Okay, right hand side of the mirror and above the principal axis is taken as positive, keep it in mind. And in the principal axis, below the principal axis and left hand side of the mirror is taken as negative. Okay, left hand side is taken as negative, right hand side is taken as positive. Upper portion, okay, the north portion is taken as positive and the south portion is taken as negative. So this is in the case of concave mirror. Here, if the object is placed, object is always placed to the left hand side, so the object distance will always be negative and the image will form at the right hand side, which will be always positive. And if the image is falling inverted, if it is below the principal axis, then it will become negative. If it is above the principal axis, then it will become positive. So in concave mirror, focal length of the concave mirror is always negative. Focal length falls here. Focal length is the distance between principal focus and principal pole. So the distance between the principal focus and the pole is in the left hand side. So the focal length always become negative in the case of concave mirror. Coming to the convex mirror, here also object or the image which is above the principal axis will be positive and which is below the principal axis will be negative. So this is the convex mirror and whatever is there in the left hand side is taken as negative. The distances which are at the left hand side is taken as negative and the distances which are at the right hand side is taken as positive. In convex mirror, the focal length of the convex mirror is always positive. The focal length falls in the right hand side. So the distance between the pole and the principal focus is in the right hand side. Therefore, in the convex mirror, the focal length is always positive. In the concave mirror, the focal length is always negative. So this is the informations and I hope you understood the ray diagrams, how to write the ray diagrams and the sign conventions used for that. Thank you. Thanks for watching my video.